I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. So today I have my special guest. She is a sparking transformation with the story and strategy. Keynote speaker. Hello, Moxie founder. Hello, Moxie method creator, e-commerce and marketing leader, no other than Miss Nicole Donnelly.
Woo, I'm excited to be here. Oh my gosh. I
Yes,
have
yes.
been a book nerd since I was born. So this is my dream to be on the show and talk about books and stories and the ways that they shape and transform us. So it's my honor to be your
Yes, Miss Nicole Donnelly. Thank you so much
guest.
for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Oh, absolutely. So I am Nicole. I'm a mom of two beautiful girls, and I'm the founder of Hello Moxie. We're a startup, female founded startup. And our mission is really to help women in underrepresented industries rise with Moxie and develop into
Yes.
transformational leadership into transformational leaders through mentorship and our Moxie method. So that is a little bit
Mm,
about me. So I'm also, believe it or not, I love to write. And
yes.
I am in the middle of drafting the second draft of a play. So I love playwriting. I love writing. It's one of my passions. It's my fun project on the side that I love to do. So a little bit about
Okay,
me.
looking forward for that. Please do come over and let's talk about it
Mhm.
on Book 101.
Cool.
For sure. And today, let's talk about how storytelling connects us and help us to find purpose in an organization. So tell us, Miss, why are human brains fundamentally wired to understand, remember, and connect through a narrative rather than through data points or bullet points alone?
Such a great question. Stories connect us. So, research actually shows that when someone's telling you a story, your brain actually creates this connection. You become connected to the listener, both the listener and the storyteller are connected in this shared sense of purpose. And that's only something that comes through stories. It's not something you can tell from just bullets. And stories are memorable. I mean, you think about, I grew up reading the Bible as a child with my parents. And interestingly, the stories that I remember, or the lessons that I remember most, were the parables that were taught by Jesus, and he always taught in stories. And that's how he taught people lessons, was through these various stories. And so that's something that's always stuck with me from the time I was a child, is the stories and how they taught me, how they taught me to be a better human, have more empathy. And if I would have just been told the lessons without the story behind it, it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick in your brain. You can't carry it with you.
Yes. And tell us, what is a Moxie method is
Ooh, the
all about?
Moxie method. Yes. Okay. So the Moxie method is it's a framework that I developed for my own lived experience. It's a 5-stage framework to becoming a transformational leader. So I have a long history of being a workaholic. And it started
Mm,
from when I was a very young girl. My dad, I come from a long line of very successful entrepreneurs, 5 generations actually. In fact, my great, 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 great grandmother in the 1860s owned a bakery in Copenhagen, Denmark. Her name was Sophie.
wow.
And she owned this bakery in Denmark, and she had 7 children. She had 7 children. She was married. She owned this bakery, and she put her whole heart and soul into it. And she used to cater to the king of Denmark. And so she was like really the socialite. She was very involved in, what was happening with all of the parties and everything. And she became very, very well known in her community. And interestingly, she was also a mom of 7 kids, and her kids would write it's actually recorded. They would write that she would wake them up at 4:30 in the morning and feed them breakfast in bed before she would go to work. Can you imagine? So it's an incredible legacy of entrepreneurship in my family that I just like cherish and honor. Well, one of the side effects of that is that there's always been this pressure for me to perform and to do and achieve and be successful. And so I started, after 20 years of overworking, I started a marketing agency, and we grew very, very quickly. We grew 4 times in 4 years. And along the way, I woke up one day and I hit total burnout. I had just come out of a very unhealthy business relationship and realized I needed to walk away from it. It was not a healthy situation. And I woke up and I really kind of had this existential crisis of like, am I doing this because this is what I'm being called to do? Or am I doing this because I'm still trying to make it to, meet my father's expectations, meet my grandfather's expectations? Is this something that's really like I'm being called to do? And I woke up and I realized I was just unhappy doing work that I did not love, and it wasn't filling me. And so I started making a pretty significant pivot. And that pivot started because of phase 1 of the Moxie method, which is, I'm going in all directions. So the Moxie method is the framework of an olive tree. It starts with a seed, moves to the roots, moves into the sprout, blooms, and then pollinates. Those are the 5 stages. So if you think about an olive tree or any plant, those are usually the 5 stages of growth. And so the first stage is the seed, which is stillness. Before you can grow, before you can transform or have any sort of impact, you have to be comfortable being still and being with yourself in stillness and really recognizing and understanding what it is that your body is telling you. That was something I never really learned as a kid. I was always in my head. And so after I had this burnout moment, I woke up and realized I didn't really know who I was or what I wanted. And the only reason I came to that is because I had been practicing stillness for 2 years. So with the help of an executive coach, she taught me somatic practices where I was able to really take time to just connect with my body and listen to what it was telling me instead of just ignoring those signals. So the first step of the Moxie method is really stillness. It's that self-awareness and that really somatic awareness of really listening to what your body is telling you. The second stage is the spark, which is all about self-discovery and curiosity. So after I hit this burnout period, Daniel, I was like, what do I like to do? What am I curious about? And I decided to stop working. Not completely, but I started working less. So I took Fridays off completely, and I dedicated that time to just exploring whatever it was I was curious about. And through that process, I uncovered sparks. I uncovered strengths that I didn't really realize I had through that, which includes writing. I started writing plays. I started doing speeches, writing speeches. I shifted to becoming a keynote speaker. And so through that spark, I really started to explore and develop my strengths. The third stage is the sprout, which is all about stepping into fear and discomfort. So for me, choosing to make that pivot away from my digital marketing agency and start to do something completely new and different was incredibly uncomfortable. Change is incredibly uncomfortable. Our bodies are naturally wired to hate change. It's a survival mechanism, right? Like we don't like uncertainty as humans. We shy away from it. We don't want to go there. But the more that we can get comfortable with uncertainty and step into those moments of discomfort is really where growth happens. So that third phase is all about recognizing how fear feels in your body, going back to that somatic awareness, and then identifying when is fear a signal that's telling me I need to stop, and when is fear telling me I actually need to step forward, and being able to know the difference. And then the next stage is the bloom stage. This is when you speak. And this is all about using your voice, leaning into your strengths, and speaking up and having vulnerable conversations, stepping into uncomfortable situations and using your voice powerfully. And then as you do that, you move into the next stage, the shine phase, which is all about legacy and mentorship. This is all about lifting others as you go and finding opportunities to help and build legacy. So those are the 5 stages of the Moxie method that I lived through. And now is this framework that we use in our Hello Moxie workshops and mentorship programs to help others build and develop into transformational leaders as well.
Miss Nicole, thank you for sharing your Hello Maxi method to the world. Create more breakthrough that will help empower women all over the world. In a business world obsessed with metrics and KPIs, what is the unique power of a story that spreadsheet can never replicate?
Ooh. It's that emotional connection that a story brings to you when you hear a story for the first time or even read it over and over again. Like I can still remember, for example, how I felt when I read the book Little Women when I was a child for the first time. How alive I felt, how connected I was to the characters in the story, how inspired I was by the characters that I read about. Jo is one of the main characters in that book. How she inspired me to like lead with curiosity and to live with enthusiasm, and how I felt I could relate to those characters. And that I think is something that you just can't find with data. You find it in the stories because you're able to emotionally connect with other people. And as humans, we crave community and connection. It's that connection that strengthens us. It inspires us. It helps us, dream big and achieve really amazing things. It's not the data that does that. It's the stories that do that. And I'll say from my own experience building my personal brand, I found that it's the stories that people connect to much more than when I share about the results through the data or the bullet points. People want to hear the stories more than they want to hear the data.
Definitely. And Miss Nicole, how does storytelling specifically activate our sense of purpose and meaning in a way that mission statement often fails to do?
Hmm. This is such an interesting thing because if you think about most successful companies, usually they always have a very strong story from the founder. There's usually, without fail, experience, whatever experience the founder went through that led to the start of the company. It's the story that drives the success of that company. So it's the story that lends purpose to everything that organization is doing. Once, when there's no story that people can rally to or rally with, there's no sense of excitement. There's no sense of shared purpose. It's just like, what are we doing this for? But when you have a story behind it, that's what really excites people and gets people to catalyze and want to move and mobilize towards achieving a common goal.
Yes, a common goal for sure. And Miss Nicole, how does sharing stories within organizations create a sense of tribal belonging and shared identity among employees?
Man, that's a great question. We find ourselves in stories. So when I hear a story from someone, it's a point of connection. I can relate to that person better because of the story. I can find myself in their story. And because I'm able to relate better to them, that builds this connection, this relationship, so we can collaborate better, so that we can work together better and find purpose, shared purpose together. It creates this sense of, we're doing this together. I see you. I see you. I understand you because I've been there too. So it's this connection, this ability to relate, to see ourselves in the stories of other and experiences of other people. That, oh my gosh, you felt like that. You've experienced that. I've experienced that too. It makes you feel more human. It makes you feel heard and seen when you hear someone else's story that's similar to yours. And we all want to feel heard and seen. When we feel heard and seen, we can be our best, do our best, because we know that we're not alone. And it's the story that kind of helps us feel that we're not alone. And we need that.
Yes. No man is an island, people.
Yeah.
If you need help, please ask for help. In Hello Moxie, Miss Nicole, how did you relate our topic for today?
Mm.
Storytelling.
Oh, can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes. How would you relate Hello Moxie in storytelling?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like my Hello Moxie was built on my story. I mean, it's basically come as a result of my life experience, my journey, you know, overcoming childhood trauma, workaholism, developing this Moxie method is what led me to found Hello Moxie. And it's the story of that founding that really inspires me to want to help other people who may be struggling with other women struggling with some of the same challenges, working in underrepresented industries like I was for so long and feeling isolated and alone and, you know, wanting to help, wanting to support, wanting to give back to them. And it's because of my story and experience that this whole organization started. So it wouldn't be here without my own lived experience. And I think that's true for so many people wherever we are, is like it's our stories, our lived experience that inspire us to create and do and give back and, give back to the people around us.
Yes. Give back. It's better to give than to receive,
Mm.
people. And Miss Nicole, as a keynote speaker, Hello Moxie founder, and Moxie method creator, e-commerce as well. What are
Mhm.
your short-term and long-term goals?
Ooh, I like this question. So my short-term goals are we're launching a very new and exciting mentorship cohort in November. It starts
Yes.
November 11th. So my short-term goal is I'm very excited. We're going to be launching it for enrollment next week and would love to have rising women in tech as many as we can. We have limited number of seats, but my goal is to fill that cohort and just to create a amazing shared experience with the people in that cohort that really empowers us all in that cohort to
Yes.
really do great work. So that's my short-term goal. My long-term goal, sheesh, I'm looking at my vision board right now, and uh, literally, my long-term goal is to be someone who inspires others to use their voice boldly and live authentically, in alignment with their deepest desires and dreams. I'd love to be a champion and a catalyst for people to really feel empowered to be who they were born to be and find their calling.
Well, Miss Nicole, let's empower women all over the world through Hello Moxie. Good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Ooh, my advice would be don't be like me, be like
Yes.
yourself. I would say wherever you can, take time to get to know yourself. Spend time in stillness, doing nothing at all, and really enjoy just being with yourself. And I think the more that you can enjoy being with yourself, the more you'll find yourself. And the more you find yourself, the more you will lift others and inspire others and help others to live their best life too. So that would be my advice.
Inspiring advice, Miss Nicole.
Mm.
Empowering too. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Oh my gosh, so many books influenced my journey, but I'm going to just give you the ones that come off the top of my head. So the first is Little Women. That was one of the first books
Yes.
I read as a child. I love fiction. So that would be one of the first. I love Gone with the Wind. So that's another book that influenced me at a young age. And sheesh, man, what other books? I'm looking at this book has influenced me. It's called Everybody Writes. It's by Anne
Mm,
Handley.
yes.
And I love it because it makes writing feel so much more approachable and accessible for people. So, so I would say those. And then there's another really great book that's influenced me. That's two others. One is Elie Wiesel's Night, which is Elie Wiesel is a survivor of the Holocaust. It's an incredible book that changed me when I read it 20 years ago. It helped me see the world from a completely different lens and the importance it is to lead with empathy and to always be mindful of our humanity, everyone's humanity. And the other book that comes to my mind is How to Win Friends and Influence People. So those are the books that I think have really influenced me significantly that come to my mind. So
Classics indeed, Miss Nicole, and thank you for those recommended books.
yeah.
And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast,
Mhm.
people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast, Law 101, and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in third season, and my movie 101 review and music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Nicole, tell us, what are your vision and mission of Hello Moxie?
Ooh, vision and mission for Hello Moxie is to empower women working in underrepresented industries like the tech industry to develop into transformational leaders and to find their voice and purpose and just live it with Moxie.
Live with Moxie.
Mhm.
So, what kind of brand that you are representing to the world?
Ooh, what kind of brand am I representing to the world? Sheesh, that's a big question. I would say immediately what comes to my mind is leading with heart. Oh, so I would say our brand is very heart led, very soulful. And I would say that's the kind of brand that we are. We want to connect people with heart and with soul.
Miss Nicole Donnelly, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you for empowering women all over the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, please come and visit us. Oh, do I keep going? Okay. Yep, you
Go
can
ahead.
come visit us at hellomoxie.biz. We're going to be launching a new cohort. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Nicole Donnelly. I'm at LinkedIn/Nicole/Donnelly/DMG. So come find me on LinkedIn, and I'd love to connect with you.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Nicole Donnelly, because if you support her, more and more empowering women will rise, more and more empowering business for women to come. So, Miss Nicole, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
More to come, people. See you soon.